Out of all the creatures in this world, one of the most playful is the otter. They are considered cute and friendly to most people, but like all animals, they have a story. How do they live, and why are they mostly unseen in the wild? What have they had to cope with in the past? And what is threatening their survival currently? I'm Stephanie Hodnett, a 6th form student, and I'm going to be investigating the truth about Eurasian otters. Otters are carnivorous mammals part of the mustelid family, which means they're closely related to polecats, pine martens, weasels, and even wolverines. There are many different species of otter throughout the world, with different sizes, distributions, and habitats. But as this documentary is being filmed in the United Kingdom, we're going to be investigating the species that is closest to home. The most common species of otter in the United Kingdom is the Eurasian otter. However, they're not commonly seen as they prefer to live away from busy human life in the banks of rivers. 80% of their diet is from fish, which they hunt at twilight hours, as this is when the fish become lethargic and easier to catch. They then sleep during the day in holts. This classifies them as a crepuscular species, meaning that they're usually only active at dawn and dusk, the twilight hours. However, they do come out during the day, and some of them are nocturnal too. They are specifically adapted to swimming, with short limbs that reduce water resistance, 2 layers of fur, a thick waterproof exterior and a warmer interior, and larger hind feet to allow better propulsion through the water. This otter is crucial to the health of its ecosystem due to its position as an apex predator. It helps regulate fish populations, otherwise we surely would have river salmon climbing up our walls by now. However, its population is in decline. It's labelled as near threatened on the IUCN Red List, and towards the end of the last century, its population nearly went extinct entirely. So let's go find out why. And now we switch to out and about adventure mode. This used to be one of the biggest threats to otters towards the end of the 20th century. Back in around the 1950s, 60s, organochlorine pesticides were being used a lot. For example, dieldrin and DDT. An overexposure to DDT in particular is scientifically proven to cause neurological problems, reproductive abnormalities, and reduced metabolism of vitamin A. And the reason it was happening to otters and actually causing them to die because of it was because of something called biomagnification. So at the bottom of the food chain we have our producers, photosynthesizing organisms such as water hyacinth, and a farmer who is very kindly chucking waste DDT into freshwater habitats nearby. The producers absorb X amounts of DDT, which is not toxic in these small concentrations. These are then eaten by primary consumers such as fish, who eat lots of these plants, and those fish eaten by secondary consumers, and so on. However, because DDT is liposoluble, meaning it dissolves into and is stored in fat tissues, the tiny concentrations of DDT in the plants gradually accumulate in the tissues of the animals who eat them, which magnifies the concentration of DDT as it moves up the food chain. This means that by the time it reaches the apex predator of the ecosystem, such as an otter, its concentration is much greater than it was when absorbed by producers, so it's these guys at the top who get landed with the fatal doses. It truly is a silent killer. But now we can say that this water is free of pesticides from their ban in the late 20th century. There's flies, there's invertebrates here which prove the river is healthy, so we can tell that this water is very clean. So pesticides were the biggest killers of otters towards the end of the 20th century and have been banned, which has caused the populations to recover. But are there any chances of seeing any otters in the wild for myself? My research has shown that otters are most active at dawn and dusk, as well as at night, so I won't find any at this time of day. Luckily, there is a local spot which is perfect for finding some individuals, as long as you know where to look. Winnell Moors is a secret nature reserve in Winchester, Hampshire, situated around the chalk-based River Itchen. It's open to the public and, yeah, you really can't miss it with that massive sign at the front. It's home to a wide range of birds and small mammals, including swans and kingfishers, and otters are seen to regularly patrol the water. I even managed to briefly catch sight of an otter pup among a reed bed, but I want to see if I can get a better glimpse into their behaviour. So, without further ado, we have to wait until it's darker. We reach Winnell Moors at ridiculous o'clock in the morning, perfect time for otters, and we set up in one of the key spots. I've got all my kit set up, and now we just need to play the waiting game. We wait for hours for a sighting, and are taunted with a few nearby squeaks, but no signs. We come back the following week and continue waiting, but to no avail. At this point, I'm beginning to doubt the possibility of a sighting beyond the original pup I saw, and wonder if the otters of Winchester are just too elusive. However, further research into the Winchester City Mill shows a live camera trap set up and monitored daily for otter activity, with most of the findings being posted online. There is hope after all, and being able to watch their activity is an absolute privilege. I may not have been able to physically get as much footage of otters as I had wanted, with the budget and the timescale I have, but I'm glad to have gotten an insight into their world, if only a brief one. I consider myself lucky even just to see an otter pup in broad daylight with my own eyes. The species population is still declining, mainly from road collisions in the UK, so more must be done in the effort to conserve them. They are playful beings, but to humans, like many other creatures, they will always remain somewhat of a mystery. Thank you all so much for watching this documentary. I put a lot of hard work into it. I hope you enjoyed it and you've learnt something enlightening about otters, that then I know that I've achieved my goal. I hope to see you all again in another video, but it's bye for now.